Now, should we catch up with a little bit of showbiz? And what makes it very special today, Stephanie Takyi was here yesterday. Today, she's in Monte Carlo, as you do. Stephanie, morning to you. What on earth are you doing there?
Good morning, Stephen and Anne. I'm here for the Monte Carlo Television Festival. You know, last month it was all about the Cannes Film Festival, which was premiering all these Hollywood films. But in Monte Carlo, it's all about, like, looking forward to the big TV shows that will be coming out later on this year. We've got stuff that will be on BBC, but also there's other stuff that will be coming out on Netflix and Spotify. This festival has a close association with the royal family in Monaco, Prince Albert of Monaco. So he opened the ceremony last night, which was quite good. I watched this new TV show which is called Shelter. It's a thriller. It's going to be on Amazon Prime in August, so that's definitely one to look out for.
Oh, sounds quite good. I like a thriller.
So do you just get to you get to go into cinemas in various places and just watch endless television?
Yeah, it's just one big, like, film or TV fest where we get to watch the screenings. After this, I'll be going into a press conference, interviewing a few of the TV stars. It's quite interesting because it's also about new talent as well. There's a few household names, a few British names that will be coming into town as well. I don't know if you guys remember John Goodman from Roseanne.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so he's the president of the jury, so he's going to be deciding who's going to be winning awards. So I caught up with him last night.
Oh, very nice.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Is this all about flogging these shows to other countries and other networks? Is that why they do it?
Yeah, it's a worldwide festival, even though it's in Monte Carlo. It's about bringing, the world media, TV execs, studios. It's just about getting it on people's radars. And as you can see behind me, fans are also here as well. As Monaco's quite small, it's the second smallest country in the world. The fans can really get up and close with the TV stars as well.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan aren't there. Are they trying to get another deal off another company?
Gosh, and I don't think it's looking good for Team Harry and Meghan at the moment. They're slowly starting to lose deal after deal after deal. Look, yesterday we were talking about in the studio how Spotify has decided not to sign them up for a second season of their Archetypes podcast. And now one of the senior executives for Spotify, Ben Simmons, he's come out and he's kind of blasted the pair, and he said that the podcast should have been called The Grifters. I think he's sitting on a story about Prince Harry where he said they had a phone call, and by the sounds of it, Prince Harry wasn't really forthcoming with ideas for the podcast, hence why it hasn't been signed up for a second season. It's a bit unprofessional to come out with this, but Bill hasn't really been a fan of the Sussexes, and in particular Prince Harry. He says that there's no sense of him having all these documentaries, these interviews, and he hasn't really got much to say other than being a royal.
Yeah, it is quite damning, and the issue is, he's getting it off his chest, but I suppose that damages the prospects for any other company they might be approaching.
I think so. Meghan has said that she is looking for another home for the podcast, so I don't think it's going to be the end of Archetypes. She's just going to have to approach maybe somewhere like Apple to see if they would be interested in it. But you see, the big feedback that's been from the public, I think they're bored. They're bored of Harry and Meghan, so I think, any brand that's going to be looking to sign them up is going to have to tread carefully.
Well, that's the fact, isn't it, that the podcast wasn't very interesting in the end. Meghan said it was all going to be about independent women being uplifted against the labels that have held them back. It turned out to be just Meghan talking to a couple of friends and actually talking about herself more than interviewing her friends.
And I think, that's what's turning people off. And, this is a bit of a second blow for Meghan because she was also working on a TV series for Netflix, an animation called Pearl. And that didn't even make it to Netflix. They panned it while it was still in the planning stage. So she was working with Elton John's husband, David Furnish, on it. So a lot of these projects that she's trying to do is not actually taking off pretty well. So it begs to ask, why did they leave royal life? Because outside the royal, they're finding it very tough. They've got a multi-million lifestyle that they have to kind of keep up with. So with them losing all these brands, it's going to be quite difficult for Harry and Meghan.
Might have to downsize from Montecito Go see if they can find themselves a nice little terrace somewhere.
Yeah, with only about 16 bedrooms.
Yeah, 16 bedrooms. They'll have to slum it with 16. I've got to ask, because you said you were hanging about with John Goodman last night. I mean, because he's been around for such a long time. What was he like as a person?
Yeah. He's lovely, and he's lost a lot of weight. I wish we had a picture of him. Roseanne, because since his Roseanne days, he's shifted a lot of weight. He's looking good. He said he was quite petrified and quite nervous to go on stage. But I find when, you know, the Hollywood stars are out of their comfort zones, they are really approachable and really nice to talk to.
Isn't it, how many Hollywood stars who've only previously done films, movies, are now moving into the world of television? It's an altogether different game. Television isn't the poor cousin of film anymore, is it?
Yeah, and TV is no longer just TV anymore, because now we have the streaming sites such as Netflix, Amazon. So a lot of the TV shows which are premiering here aren't on traditional terrestrial TV. They're actually on things such as Prime, Amazon, and Netflix. So it's interesting to see where the TV industry is moving and how they're sustaining themselves, which will be quite interesting to find out.
Yeah, because it is all about the money, and the one thing which seems to be attracting the big Hollywood stars to the TV, and it's often through the streaming services, is the production value is huge, which has got to mean expensive.
Definitely, but then you've got, you know, people such as the Netflix and Amazon who do have money to spend on such shows. And you're finding that these days, a lot of people, if they're not watching GB News, they're on Netflix and they're on Amazon and they're binge watching on so many shows. People like watching series that they can watch one after another, where I think for TV you have to wait like a week or so. So it's interesting to see where the industry is moving.
Yeah,
Do you know, one more thing, because I've absolutely been binging on Lupin. Are there any more Lupins coming? Yeah. Is there going to be a third series, do we know?
Well, Anne, while you was away, I covered the Luther premiere, so it was like the movie come out. Have you seen the movie, The Fallen Sun?
No.
On Netflix? Watch the movie. So now Luther has a movie, The Fallen Sun. So I interviewed Idris Elba about it. So they're hoping to make it a franchise now. So it's now moving off TV to now being for the cinema. So do check it out. It's quite good.
Oh, there you go. Stephanie, really good to see you. Enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, looks nice.
Sending lots of love, guys.
Thank you.